Welcome back to Fight Network. Cody Saftic here with you. Bellator 170 is set for Saturday, January 21st at the Great Western Forum in Inglewood, California. And joining me now on the phone is one of the reasons why this card is so loaded, just so many talented fighters, and Hisaki Kato, the Japanese musketeer, on the phone. Thank you, Hisaki, for taking the time today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, in 2015, not a whole lot of fans knew who you were, but you had this big proclamation that you were going to come to the U.S., you were going to knock out Joe Schilling, and you were going to become a star. You did exactly that. Then in a follow-up act, you knocked him again in a kickboxing match. Do you finally feel like fans are starting to take recognition of your accomplishments?
Yes, it was, when I had this opportunity to fight in Bellator the first time, I was super motivated to not be the guy who's been called to be knocked out and go back to Japan. So I was ready for a hard fight and to do something great, and I was lucky enough to do it. So I'm really blessed.
Now, all 9 of your fights have actually ended by way of knockout, all 7 of your victories, and also both of your career defeats. Did you feel like delivering that type of excitement to the fans is something that you prioritize, it's something that's important to you, or is this just something that happens with your fight style naturally?
Yeah, I will be lying if I was saying that I do that for the fans. I do that for myself first, and because I don't believe in decision. For me, being a martial artist is just about life or death. So you win or you lose, and that's why I'm always pushing and trying to get a knockout.
Now, Joe Schilling was a big-name guy, and you knew exactly who he was. On January 21st, you'll be returning to Bellator, and you'll be taking on Hisaki Gracie. What are your thoughts on him? What were the thoughts on the fight when it was presented to you? Is this something that you already knew of?
I knew at some point I will have to fight some guys who are specialized on the ground. So I have the typical archetype of it, a guy who's born doing grappling and jiu-jitsu. So, it's going to be a different game plan for me. I will have to be more careful with my fighting defense and light on my feet. But it's a good matchup. It will be really easy to understand fight, striker versus jiu-jitsu grappling fighter. So I guess it's going to be fun to watch.
Now, the Gracie family, they just have this big name in MMA, obviously, with Royce Gracie's initial success to start off the UFC, which kind of just brought so much exposure. As an MMA fighter, is it almost, a goal, like a bucket list accomplishment to defeat a Gracie? Would beating a guy like that because of his last name alone make that victory sweeter than a regular fighter who was 3-0?
Well, not for me. The individual are different, even if they have the same family name. What Royce Gracie did is not what Alec Gracie did. And no, he's just the next opponent for me. And his family name is well known, good for him. But for me, he's just my next opponent and good on the ground, and that's it.
Now, although he's been a little bit active in jiu-jitsu anyways, he's not officially competed in MMA since 2010. You, on the other hand, you never even started fighting professionally until 2013. What kind of layoff do you think 7 years would do to a fighter?
I think it's going to be, it's a long time. 7 years without fighting is a long time. And even his last fights were in Japan, so it was the old 10 minutes rule. So, it's very different. He's going to have to adapt and adjust to the 5-minute rounds with the American MMA rules, small gloves, no protections. It's a big move for him. So that's why I'm pretty sure he's going to try to bring the fight to the ground, because he will be in his world on the ground and not on his feet. So.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the last time when he did compete, as I mentioned, it was 2010. At that time, you would have been 27 years old. You hadn't turned pro or entered MMA for 3 years. So what were you doing at that point in your life?
I did different jobs, and I used to play handball at a top level in France, and after that at top level in Japan. I know handball is nothing in America, but it's quite big in Europe and especially in France. So I've been training in handball like for I don't even remember, maybe like for I was 5 or 6. So I was not doing MMA, but I've always been training hard every day. So maybe that's why it was quite easy for me to adapt and to try another sport.
And how did you get into MMA to make that transition from handball? I mean, we've also heard with Chris Cyborg that she did the same thing. She was a handball player in Brazil and then eventually made that move to MMA. How did fighting get to be something that intrigued you and became something that you want to try?
My father is Japanese, and he was a judo fighter, and he came in France to teach judo back in the days when all the teachers were Japanese. So we kind of have the martial spirit in our family, and I've always been attracted with the martial arts, even when I was playing handball. And when I stopped playing handball, I joined the Kudo, the Karate Federation. So I didn't switch from handball to MMA. I switched from handball to karate, and from karate I had some good wins, and I won different tournaments. Then I had opportunities to turn pro in MMA in Japan, and that's why I did it.
Now, if all goes to plan, if you're able to get the victory over Gracie, do you have any big plans for 2017? Are you looking for a rematch with Melvin Manhoff, a crack at the Bellator title, perhaps a return to Rizin in Japan, where you've had a big win in Rizin last year, but also you've had a bunch of notable victories for the Heat promotion as well in Japan. Do you have any big plans for 2017?
Yes, you said it all. If I win and I have a good win in the next fight, I will try to have a title shot. And if Manaf is the champion, then I will have a title shot and the possibility to avenge my loss. And of course, if I'm not injured, I would enjoy to fight in Japan too, because it's easy to fight in Japan, and it's good for me too, for all the sponsors and for all the support. So yes, I will enjoy to fight in Rising again too. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do everything you said.
Now, final question for you. One of the reasons I love watching you fight is you have a very entertaining fight style, but another one of the reasons is your corner man. He's very loud, he's very vocal, he gives awesome advice, and he's very passionate. And I always want to ask, who is that guy, and what kind of team do you have around you?
Yeah, his name is Bob Armstrong, and he's fighting in Pancras now. He's ranked number 3 or 4 in Pancras, I think. Yeah, he's a good teammate of mine. We've been training together for a long time, and he's a really dedicated person. He will be there for the next fight, so you will hear it again. So yeah, don't worry, he will be there.
We'll be looking forward to hearing him, and we'll be looking forward to seeing the fight. And if you want to see Hisaki Kato back in action, you can do so January 21st on Bellator 170. Hisaki, j'apprécie ça beaucoup. Merci pour le temps aujourd'hui.
Yeah, merci beaucoup. Thank you.